to the live. I hope you guys are well. I hope everybody's doing well. Welcome, welcome. So we're just gonna jump into the topic of today. Today we're talking about Abraham Traoré. Yeah, we're talking about Abraham Traoré. I like Abraham Traoré. He's one of the persons that is my favorite right now when it comes to leaders in an African country. I think he's doing an amazing job. So today we're going to talk about those clowns. Yes, there's a bunch of clowns out there in France who are demonstrating. I can show you guys a video because I'm going to get copyright, right? And I'm not so versed in how to bring video on my channel without getting copyright. And when I don't know something, I'm not going to do it until I am quite sure about how to do it. So anyways, you can go watch it. Just typing just type it in that people are demonstrating against people in France demonstrating against Abraham Traoré, and you can see the video. Now let's talk about Abraham Traoré. Let's talk about all the good things he is doing, and then we're going to talk about our people, how they are sellouts, and how when somebody is doing something amazing, they can't just join them and make things better for our people. So we're going to talk about that. These sellouts in France who are Burkina Faso themselves, citizens, they are saying that they want Traoré to step down and they want a democratic system to come in. These people are crazy. I'm telling you, sometimes our people, man, you wonder about them, because why would you demonstrate when a person is doing so much goodness for their country, for your own people? This is supposed to be your own people. I don't understand that at all, right? Now, I want to say that the colonized mind is a terrible mind. Okay? The colonized mind is a terrible thing, right? Now, these people who are demonstrating, they left Burkina Faso, go to France, and now they're demonstrating against a person who is Abraham Traoré, Captain Abraham Traoré, who is lifting up the country and making the country better. And these same people in that, like these same people, when SHI hit the fan for them in France, they're gonna have to come back to their own country. Because if France say, okay, bye, you have to go back to your country, they have to go back to Burkina Faso. So I don't understand why would they be demonstrating against Captain Ibrahim Traoré. That doesn't make any sense. Well, hi everybody. Naga, I am from the Caribbean. Okay. Ayan, thank you. Ramos, thank you guys for coming into the live. I appreciate all 10 of you in the live. Welcome, welcome. So I don't understand why these sellers are in France. Remember to give the video a like, a thumbs up. I don't understand why these sellouts in France are there and they are demonstrating against Abraham Traoré, Captain Abraham Traoré, demanding him to step down. That makes no sense. They need to open up their eyes and see all the things that Abraham Traoré has done for the country in this short period of time that he's been in power in the country. And I'm going to go through all the things that he has done for Burkina Faso in a minute. Now, the French government, I think, has a part to play in that, because French was kicked out of Burkina Faso. So I think they would do anything to go against Captain Abraham Traoré at this moment. As you can see, all the things that they're trying to do in the media against this good man who is trying to do good things for our people. You understand? So it's like these people are sellouts. Why did they leave Burkina Faso and go to France? Do you know the suffering of your people? Do you want a democratic government? This is real hogwash. Like, Abraham Traoré is doing amazing stuff. So I don't think people should be like demonstrating against him for all the good things that he's doing. Just ridiculous. Ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous. Now, the thing about people, sometimes they can't grasp the good things that is happening right in front of them. They have to find something to find fault with. And sometimes it's whether you do right or you do wrong, people are still going to find fault with you. So you just sometimes have to ignore them. And I like the attitude of Captain Abraham Traoré. He's just doing his thing. He's just doing his thing, and he's not making anybody stop him. He is just being a valiant person, and his goal is to just fight for his people. And for those of you who are coming on the live and saying all kind of positive things, I big you guys up. And for those who have negative things to say, like I'm seeing on my chat right now, like, you guys find somewhere else to go chat your nonsense, because this channel is about positivity. So find somewhere else to chat your nonsense. But I believe that these sellouts who are there demonstrating, they are paid by certain people to go there and say that stuff. And our people sometimes are so gullible. They're so gullible that they allow people to buy them out, to take down their own people. If you look back in history, like those revolutionaries, people who rise up fighting for their people, to be free from colonialism, to be free from slavery, to be free from injustice, to have their own food, and to be free of starvation. Hi, Stacko. Hello. Their own person that looks like them comes in and go in cahoots and get them assassinated. And it's a shame. So when we look at what is happening right now in France with them demonstrating against Captain Abraham Traoré, you can look back in history and see how that thing happened. That there are people inside, and they go there and they just want to get somebody down, So that's the whole point of the matter. So that is what is happening right now. But let's talk about Captain Abraham Traoré, and let's talk about what he is doing for Burkina Faso, right? Burkina Faso has been down and out for a long, long time. And Captain Abraham Traoré came and decided to bring his people out of bondage. He came there and decided to lift up his people who was kneeling to the West. Now his people are not kneeling to the West. Now his people has power because they're in control. They are finally taking control of their country. They're taking control of the economy, and they're no longer slave to the West. So now they're not on their knees anymore begging the West for anything. Instead, they are going to produce their own goods and services. They're going to make agriculture great again in their country. They're going to provide more food for their people so that there would be less starvation. There'll be jobs. People would learn skills and things like that. So Captain Abraham Traoré is focusing on agriculture, right? He's also, I think if you guys know about somebody named Sankara, who was a freedom fighter, in Africa, he's like kind of similar to Sankara with some of the characteristics that no, that he's portraying. So he's trying to revolutionize his people in a good way. And he's only been there for 2 years. Now, in the 2 years that he's been there, he has increased the GDP from 18 million to about 18 million to 22 billion, right? And he has got rid of 4 billion in debt. And he has bought in a massive amount of agricultural equipment, and he has boosted farm production to 4% since he's been there. Like, this is insane. This is incredible. Can you imagine if other presidents of Africa decide to join with Abraham Traoré and do that? Do you understand the impact that is going to have on their country? Do you understand the impact that is going to have on not only the continent of Africa, but on other countries too? Because the resources that are inside Africa is incredible. And most of the countries are actually stealing from Africa. Africa is not benefiting from all the stealing that is taking place. Africa is in so much debt to those countries that there are like the continent of Africa has become a slave to the West. So just imagine if those prime ministers and presidents of all the 50-something countries on the continent of Africa decide to have a system like what Captain Abraham Traoré is trying to bring in. That will be amazing, because the people on the continent of Africa will have a better life. They will actually have a better future, not only for them presently now, but for the generations and generations to come again. Because the problem is, when we look at Africa, or we look at Black people in general, I may have something, but my generation that's coming after me doesn't have anything, because we don't leave that wealth for our people, so wealth can continue. And this is what Captain Abraham Traoré is trying to bring to his people. He is trying to create a system where his people would not want of anything. He's bringing in awareness on organic farming, and he is telling the African continent to stop being seduced by the West. Instead, take your resources in your hands and use it to make your people wealthy and great again. Like, when you have resources, you can use your resources to sustain your people. You can use your resources to pick up yourself from the dust. And this is exactly what he's saying. Sankara said, a quote from Sankara is, "He who feeds you control you." And that's true. If somebody is feeding you, they actually can control you. And that is so, so true. So, like, we are here in Canada, and we get water from the city. That's where our water comes from. Most of those houses in the city area. But in the countryside, we have wells. So the people who are living in the city, if the city of Ottawa, or whichever city you're in, decide to, or the city of Toronto, or the city of Montreal, whichever city you're living in, decide to shut off the water, or there is some great disaster and your water is shut off, then you have no more water. Now you're controlled, because the city can say, we're going to put water Monday. We're not going to put water on Tuesday. We're going to put water on Friday. So this is like a control system. So this is the same thing that is happening to a lot of the countries on the continent of Africa. They are being fed by the West. And so the West just tells them what to do. We are going to take 50 billion tons of bauxite from you guys and pay you 10%. And we are going to get 80%. And that's exactly what they're doing. And those African countries, they can't say anything because remember, they're fed by the West. Like I just gave you an analogy of the water. You're being fed by the city, whichever city you're in. And when they shut the water off, that's it. You're getting electricity. Electricity is the next thing. You're getting electricity from them. When they shut the power off, you have no electricity. People who have solar panels, people who have wells, they're better off because they're not being fed water by the city or energy or electricity because they have their own off-grid systems. And these are the things that Captain Abraham Traoré is trying to show his people and teach his people. If you feed yourself, you would not be at the mercy of others. If you take control of your own resources, if you provide for yourself and you can provide for yourself independently, you would not have to worry about other people taking advantage of you, and you would not become slaves to anybody because you are in control. You are in control of what you have. So that is exactly like what he's doing. He's also restoring dignity to his people. Can you imagine? Like, I know a long time ago when you look on the news, you see these people, they're starving, they're poor, you know,